Alright folks, today is November 14th, 2013, and I just wanted to give you guys an update for those of you who are interested in what's going on in the Philippines right now. I've received a lot of messages and comments asking how things are, and well, things are, I'd like to say, getting better. Alright, so let me start with just so everybody knows. Okay, I know a lot of you already know this, but here is the Philippines. For some of you who have no idea where the Philippines is, it is in Asia, in Southeast Asia. This is China, right here. This is the countries of Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. This is Indonesia. This is Taiwan. This is the Pacific Ocean. And over here on this side is where the Indian Ocean is, in India, where that is. Okay, this is Australia. This is the Philippines. So right there, and Japan is going to be here. Korea is here. Okay, where do I live? This is the political map of the Philippines. There are 13 regions. There are 12 major regions, the 13th region being the National Capital Region, which is called Metro Manila. It's made up of all the cities of Quezon City, Muntinlupa City, where I live, and the old Manila, city of Manila, which is here. It is located right about here. This place, this is the capital of the entire country, called the National Capital Region, or Metro Manila. And Manila is just one of the cities in Metro Manila. I live in Muntinlupa City. Again, as I said, is over here. So this is the old Manila city. This is Muntinlupa. This is where I stay, and this is where we are. Now, we're just very lucky that when typhoons come, we don't get the blunt of it. We don't get hit as badly as some of the other regions here closer to the Pacific. Typhoons usually go from the Pacific Ocean. They hit us this way, they go that way, or they go this way. So the Manila is relatively, I wouldn't say safe, but we get hit, but sometimes, most of the time, it's not that bad. So we did get hit. If you may have known, there's a super typhoon called Haiyan, H-A-I-Y-A-N. Haiyan, that's the international name. Over here in the Philippines, the typhoon was called Yolanda, Y-O-L-A-N-D-A, Yolanda. And the same typhoon, Yolanda and Haiyan, and it's the strongest recorded ever typhoon, possibly the strongest in the entire history of recording typhoons, with sustained winds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, 240, 300 kilometers per hour, and then that's like, I think, stronger than Hurricane Katrina. Anyway, so the storm Haiyan, it went from here and it crossed central Philippines. Central Philippines is a group of islands called the Visayas, and that's where it hit. And as it hit, the eye went right here in this island called Leyte. Leyte, right here, island is called Leyte. That's where General Douglas MacArthur landed when he came back to liberate the Philippines from Japan. So anyway, back in the World War II. It's a very historic place. This is the island that really felt the brunt of it. I mean, just absolute devastation in this place. So it affected this entire region. It even hit us. The tail end just hit us. We felt the winds. It was bad. It was really strong in our place, and I can only imagine how bad it was right here. So Leyte, that's where it got hit. Samar is this place. It's called Samar. It's where the storm also hit it. But this is the place where you see new footage from CNN. This is the capital, Tacloban. Tacloban, that's where CNN reporters are right now, and BBC reporters are trying to cover that place. See, it's so close to the ocean, to the Gulf, that it is the worst place. The capital of the region has been hit. This is Ormoc. This other side was also hit. Ormoc, if you've heard it, like years ago, there was a huge landslide there that killed thousands. And so there. Other areas that were affected were these islands. The very famous island of Cebu. That's where one of the first few islands that the Spanish conquistadores in the 16th century landed and established their presence. So Cebu was also hit. It's a very affluent city, affluent island, lots of trade and commerce there, but it was also hit. The other island that was also hit is called Bohol. Now this place is another tragic place. About a month ago, it was hit by a magnitude, just a month ago, a magnitude 7 earthquake. If you don't know what a magnitude 7 earthquake is, it's like it's like buildings shaking, stone structures collapsing, churches falling down. I mean, rocks falling. That's how bad it is. Magnitude 7. They got hit by an earthquake, and they got part of that super typhoon. So the place is already in shambles, and it's got hit by typhoon as well. But this is still the worst. Now over here, now just a side trip. Some of you see infighting and rebels, extremist militants fighting down South Philippines. So South Philippines, there are three major areas. It's Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Mindanao is a predominantly Islamist Muslim community, and that's where most of the fighting, military fighting activity happens. You probably heard of Zamboanga. My father-in-law actually works here in Zamboanga del Sur. He works as a harbor pilot in this port, and this is Zamboanga. This is where the fighting happened about 3 months ago. No, 3 months ago. There was some a bunch of guerrillas, Islamist militants, extremists. They took over several coastal towns here in Zamboanga, and it took about a month for the military to actually secure the place, and it took them a week to secure it, and then establish peace and order in about a month and get rid of the rebels. So that's that place. So it's really quite far from here. So just to give you a perspective of where I am and how things are. Now, going back to the storm. Now, the aftermath of the earthquake in Bohol. Bohol is slowly getting back on its feet after about a month and a half. Relief goods, even the storm, they braved the storm. They're still okay. Cebu was just hit. Northern Cebu was hit. Negros and Panay and Mindoro, and the storm went over here and exited here. So they were hit, but they're okay. Structures were still okay. But southern Samar, northern Samar, and this entire island of Leyte, imagine a place of devastation where trees don't have leaves anymore. Half the trees have been bulldozed. It's like literally a wasteland. Coastal towns felt the wrath of the storm with a storm surge. The water rose, and it even went to the people were evacuated hours before the storm, and the evacuation centers were flooded as well. So there was really no place to go. Communication towers, cell phone towers were knocked down. Power lines were knocked down. Roads were just had debris all over it. The roads were impassable. You could not do anything. There was nothing you could do. 2 days of the storm, it was nothing. It's like, imagine a huge rolling pin just went there. I wouldn't say like a bomb exploded, but it is very close to that. It's like a big, huge rolling pin, and it just swept right there. I'm a baker, so I know. And you know, it's tough out there, and it's taken 5-6 days for government to actually reach the place, because it took them a while to get the boats going. It took them a while to get military planes to land in the airport, because there's nowhere to land. Even government officials in the area, some of whom died and perished in the storm, they were all victims, and it took a while to clear the roads for several things, because power lines were there. They weren't sure whether to cut the lines or not, because it would take much longer for power to be restored. Eventually they did cut the lines. Bodies were strewn all over the place, all over the roads. They could not bulldoze the bodies for obvious reasons. It took a while for the health department to really find a way to get body bags, to get thousands of bodies are still unrecovered. They're just lying there. And now this is the 6th day of the aftermath of the storm, and government is slowly creeping, working to get there, and people haven't eaten for days. No medicine, no food, no water, no shelter, no clothes, nothing. And it is tough. It is tough to be there. Now, if you're interested to help, there are many ways you can help. The keywords on the internet are relief or help victims of Typhoon Haiyan, H-A-I-Y-A-N, or Typhoon Yolanda, Y-O-L-A-N-D-A. There are a lot of NGOs, there are a lot of governments who have financial institutions, who have volunteers, who have organizations that are willing to help in the efforts for relief in this disaster-stricken area, especially Leyte. You can give your donations if you want. You can give donations in kind, like relief goods, old clothes, and whatnot, to these organizations. Just Google it, internet, you will find it. Now, if it is difficult for you to contribute to the relief effort, there are many ways of helping this area. You can do so by praying. For a very religious Catholic, predominantly Catholic country, prayer works for us, and your prayers will go a long way. Now, if you don't believe in praying, if prayer is not your thing, you can do an advocacy. You can spread the word of what's going on in the Philippines, research and what you know, and tell people how they can help. Just let everybody know what's going on so that people care and become aware of what's going on in this place, and that's that. So we're okay, we're getting better, we're getting there, but it will take time before things get a lot better. And the title of this video is The Indomitable Spirit of the Filipino, and we get like 24 storms a year, with the occasional earthquake, we get landslides, we get everything, but still, you know, Filipinos are ranked as one of the happiest people on earth, and it is because we survive. And to quote a very famous singer-songwriter, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, she didn't originally say it, but that's true. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And another wise person said, it's not how hard you fall off the horse, or you fall off, or you hit the ground. It's how fast you get back up on it. And that's what we're doing. We've survived a lot of things, and people are saying, what's going on in the Philippines? Why isn't there help? And it's taking time because logistically it's a nightmare. It is very difficult to get people on the road. And to top that, I mean, I shouldn't even be saying this, but months ago, the local commission on audit, the auditing body of the government, uncovered a huge $20 million scam that involved several members of Congress. In the last 5 to 8 years, they've embezzled and they've stolen close to $20 million of taxpayers' money. Can you imagine? People are asking, why don't you have choppers? Why don't you have planes? Why don't you have ships? Why don't you have money to prevent these disasters, to give relief? Because the Filipino, impoverished as it is, also suffers from a lot of politicking, a lot of crooked politicians, and they've stolen in the last 5 to 8 years $20 million. This is not a few politicians, this is a lot of politicians, and you know, why would you still even be in the Philippines? You're probably asking yourself, why live in this place? Why? Because this is our home, and it is a rich nation. Just, you know, we were one of the richest, we were one of the most affluent nations back in the 70s. The dictator Marcos had changed everything. Things had gone downhill when she was ousted and all of that. And, you know, we're still struggling. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years after that, we're still struggling to get back as one of the super economies of Asia. And, you know, it's going to be a rough thing. And these disasters, these yearly annual disasters, are just not helping. So why would you still live here? Because this place is full of the best people in the world. I mean, a lot of people think we're only good, Filipinos, you're only good for the menial tasks, the dirty jobs. That's because a lot of people don't get education. A lot of Filipinos, more than half, don't get the proper education. That's why they're resorting to those odd jobs and menial jobs. But there are a lot of Filipinos who are entertainers, who are entrepreneurs. The most enterprising people on this planet are Filipinos, and they were all over the world we're chefs, we're artists, we're businessmen, we're NGO, we're social workers, we're teachers, we're corporate workers, we're everything. And the Filipino spirit, my point being, will just not be knocked down. Manny Pacquiao, a very good example, one of the best boxers in the world, if not the best, well, arguably, will not be knocked. Well, he was knocked, but he just get back right on there and just start again, just fight. And that's what we're doing now. We're fighting, and this. You take away all these negative things about the Philippines, you get islands that have the best beaches in the world, the happiest people. We have resources, mining, farming areas. We have tourism sites, the vistas, the most pristine waters, pristine lands here in the Philippines. This is essentially an Eden. I mean, if we just give enough time and effort and willpower, we could make this once a superpower that the world knew back decades ago. So things will be better, and thank you for all of you who have continued to support us. Please let everybody know what's going on. In fact, on my part, one of my most senior sales staff actually is from Leyte. She's just lucky that her husband and her two kids, her two older kids, are with her in Manila. Her youngest kid is here in Marinduque. So they're literally safe. But her mom, as I said, communications are still down. They don't know what happened to her mom. And our prayers go out to her and her family. And her sister is actually trying to go here to Leyte to check out and bring food just to see how her mom is. Her mom lives in a town called Biliran. It's such a small town, only Ormoc and Tacloban are getting access to by the government. If you watch CNN, Anderson Cooper is in another town called Palo. Biliran, where her mom stays, is a much smaller town than Palo. There are several dozens of towns that have not been reached for days now, and you can just imagine what's going on with her mind right now. She's on leave, and I've given her a part-time schedule, and I will be helping her family and do anything I can to help her out. And this year, the last few months of this year is going to be a very sad time for us in the Philippines. And from the bottom of my heart, I would like to express gratitude to everybody who supported me, who supported us, the Filipinos, and who's been with us, just supporting in your own way, not just monetary or whatever, but in your own little way, finding a way to support us. And thank you for that. And we will rise stronger than this. And yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to give you guys an update, and things are gonna get better. And thanks for watching.